My name is Molly, I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an intern with Campus Pride. Sometimes, it can be hard to find queer representation within career spaces. As a high school student, you might be currently looking at different career options and just finding that you can't see your queer identity being represented in different jobs. However, queer people have been around forever and in many different ways. Many of society's greatest advances have been made by hardworking queer people just like you and me. There are many different ways for you to succeed while also being loud and proud about your own queer identity. Here are 5 different queer lives that truly show you anything is possible. If you're watching this video, chances are you've probably used a computer before. But did you know that the computer was invented by a queer person? Today called the father of artificial intelligence, Alan Turing attended King's College and then later Cambridge, where he first gained recognition in the mathematical field for his work. He then created the Turing machine, an early prototype of the computer which was used during World War II to decode Nazi German messages. This saved hundreds of thousands of lives and ultimately ended the war. His work would go on to be the basis for computers, which are now used worldwide. Even Apple pays homage to Alan Turing with their logo. Turing was a gay man who had had several relationships with other queer men throughout his life, and although he was unable to be open about his identity due to the social climate of England, he still served as an important example of how queerness can show up in a career. Maybe chemistry is more your thing. That's where Carolyn Bertozzi comes in. A Harvard alum, Bertozzi earned the MacArthur Genius Award at only the age of 33. She is the creator of bioorthogonal chemistry, a field which focuses around modifying molecules in living organisms. Her work has been used to discover treatments for diseases such as COVID-19, and in 2022, she won a Nobel Peace Prize for her work. Bertozzi openly identifies as a lesbian. In 2007, she won the LGBTQ Scientist of the Year award for her contributions to biology, showing that queer people can exist in all sorts of spaces. Maybe you prefer the humanities. Well, in that case, Audre Lorde is a great example of how someone can express their own queer identity through writing. Lorde was a prominent Black lesbian writer throughout the civil rights movement in the United States in the 1960s. Her work generally focused around the injustices she faced throughout her lifetime, as well as her own queer identity and feminist thought. She once said the phrase, quote, "It's a struggle, but that's why we exist, so that another generation of lesbians of color will not have to invent themselves or their history all over again." Today, we best remember Lorde for her ability to be authentic and to stand up for discrimination during a time period in which many queer people of color were silenced. Or maybe you want to be a singer. Well, in that case, Janelle Monáe is a singer, songwriter, and actress who has been working in the industry for over 20 years. Monáe's body of work, including her Grammy-nominated album, Dirty Computer, frequently include themes of queerness, often incorporating sci-fi elements into her projects. Monáe herself is a Black artist, with many of her works exploring the African diaspora and what it means to be Black and queer in the 21st century. They also publicly identify as a non-binary queer person, existing in a space which often lacks representation. Or maybe you want to shoot for the stars, literally. Wendy Lawrence is a former NASA astronaut and engineer. The first woman to graduate from the US Naval Academy and then fly into space, she served on 5 different space missions during her career from 1992 to 2006. Lawrence is happily married to Kathy Watson, a former NASA scientist, and has spoken about how her own queer identity has impacted her experience at NASA and as an astronaut. She is yet one more example of how you can use your own queer identity to shoot for the stars. No matter what you decide to do in your life with your career, be it an astronaut, a chemist, a mathematician, or a singer, always be authentic to yourself and follow your own dreams and passions. And remember, LGBTQ+ people are everywhere and have indeed been positive forces in this world. Remember, as long as you put your mind to it, anything is possible, and always speak on behalf of your identity and advocate for yourself when you need to. Thank you. Don't forget to follow Campus Pride and check out our website at campuspride.org for more resources.